Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Man 91. Let's have a really quick conversation. Jessica, the ex of Nick Cannon, or I should better say, the mother of of the child that passed away, has decided to speak out. She decided to come out and say her truth. And her truth is one that opposes Nick Cannon's truth. Well, I think we kind of knew this, right? We knew that Nick Cannon's behavior was not exemplary. We knew that Nick Cannon's behavior was something that he was taking advantage of these ladies, and these ladies just needed to wake up and smell the Kenko coffee. They were, in their own sense of the word, in their own madness, right? And they have to be accountable too. It's not just on Nick Cannon, but we knew that Nick Cannon's behavior was not exemplary, and that it was selfish, it was self-serving, it was individualistic, and it was something that wasn't going to benefit these young ladies, right? But now, obviously, Jessica, who is now, I believe, going on, she now was on appearing on Love and Hip Hop as well. I mean, she has to get her coins, I guess, but appearing on Love and Hip Hop, she also wanted to tell some truths about Nick Cannon. So we're going to read it real quickly and give our thoughts and opinions, because I think in relationships like this is an example of what we're talking about. When Nick Cannon was first doing his thing, well, so long as he can pay for these kids, it's fine. But it's never about the paying of these kids. It's about the emotional welfare of these children. But not only the children, but the emotional welfare of these ladies. What kind of emotional space are they in that they're allowing this to happen? Now, some of them probably were lied to. Hey, I hear that, but what emotional space were they in that they allowed themselves to be in a place where they would be giving him children, so that they could be taken care of? Or they wanted to have their way of doing surrogacy, because now ladies are now doing this whole thing where I'm rich, I'm paid, I've got enough money, I'm independent, I can now have my own kid, and I don't need a man in my life. Okay, but and so we're gonna follow what she says, break it down, and give you guys different perspectives. So if you're new to the channel, do me a massive favor: like it, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked. So let's get into this video quickly, and talk about some real stuff as well. All right, cool. Let's get it. So headline, obviously, Jasmine Brand says Nick Cannon's ex-wife delivers a message to him after revealing she'll appear on Love and Hip Hop. I try to reach out to you. I know you're upset about the show. So this was her statement, a very long statement, by the way. She says here, I tried to reach out to you, but here's my book. Now, first and foremost, y'all know, if you watch my video, I've always said you don't write long paragraphs to people because if they don't care, because they don't care. Like if they don't care beforehand, they ain't gonna care after, right? But anyway, let's have a read. Tried to reach out to you, but here's my book, Nick Cannon. I know you're upset about the show, but after 8 years, I can't stand when things catch you off guard, and I feel like you deserve way more respect as a man, even though I may not be respectful. I may be more respectful than you ever gave me with public announcements. Let's stop right there. First and foremost, that little bit of shade. Okay, baby, you coming in kind of strong there. You said you gonna give that shade up. Okay. She said you gonna get this shade. Like that's what you gonna get. You gonna get this shade. In fact, let's put a little music behind it so that at least it can just give a little bit of a lift to the story. Because clearly, sis out here moving the maddest of the maddest. You get me? So anyway, let's get into this. So a little bit of comedy music just to lighten the mood a little bit. You know what I mean? All right, cool. So she goes on to say, lol, I have loved and I gave 8 ride or die years to you with my head high and heart praying. You see me the way I deserved. You'd heart praying, you'd see me the way I deserved. Okay, so if I have loved and I gave 8 ride or die years to you with my head high and heart praying. You'd see me that way. You'd see me the way I deserved. I don't know what that means. That's English is all over the place. I wanted it to work. Prayed every day that you'd see me and love me at the way that I loved you. Okay, maybe you did, but you just didn't. You just kept it from me during the relationship. Baby, listen, 8 years, nigga never loved you, baby. If you didn't feel it in 8 years, he did not love you, babe. You don't need to even try to make an excuse for it. I walked away with more questions than anything. I don't know till this day really why current things had to happen. I wanted the world to know I didn't always feel good, like NC was proud to have me as a partner. I'm so happy I can say that now and still know how awesome I am. I'm proud and I can say the truth and how I'm healthily emotionally and wouldn't change my insane insecurities that I prayed off my life. I had many hurts and pain way before Nick. I never felt love that was safe even as a kid. So no, Nick, you didn't cause that pain. I had it long before us, but I put it off on you unfairly without seeing that my healing needed to be deeper past us. Now, this is a really good, important thing because what she's doing is taking accountability. And what she's also doing is bringing understanding as to why she was there, right? The reason why she was there is because of pain. And I'll do a separate video talking about this, that dealing with your pain is important because otherwise it leaves you in a place where you, okay, I'm going to turn the music because it's annoying me in my ear, where it leaves you in a place where you can be vulnerable to people like Nick Cannon who just want to use you, all right? They just want to use you for your wound, right? And that's essentially what happened. Okay. She said, I never felt love that was safe even as a kid. So no, Nick, you didn't cause that pain. I had it long before us, but I put it off on you. Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you. This music's jarring my life off, bruv. You're getting a third side of music in a second. I mean, you added to it. Oh, but my fear of not being loved wasn't broken by you. I like to publicly say that. I felt like you always put the other woman on a pedestal, and I was beyond unstable about that. Now, that's a very key thing. You know, that's a very key thing. The reality of the situation is because he had the other one on a pedestal, she felt like she was comparing herself to him. Right? Now that's very important. I think because when you really look at the situation for what it actually is, you didn't have enough valuation of yourself and self-love to realize that being in this situation wasn't right for you. Right? But now you see it. So that's what she's saying. I felt like you always put other women on a pedestal and I was beyond unstable about that. I have to say these things because I'm going to move on from public shame that has been over my life since I was at top of my game in fashion. I know the truth now about just how much healing I needed, and God has taken my hurt. I'm not ashamed by being beautiful and successful and not being loved with care throughout my life because there's big love coming to me that will fill up my memories with joy. God will get the glory out of my broken past, not shame or sadness. The truth is, NC and I were both beautifully broken when we were children and didn't know how to love each other. Instead, we hurt each other. And I think that's a key thing, right? I think that's a key thing. And the reality of the situation is, old sis is breaking it down to let us know essentially that, you know what? We are imperfect and we were going through our own personal trials and tribulations. And because of that brokenness, this is how we found each other. This is why we actually were together. And a lot of people are in relationships with broken people. And when I say broken people, it doesn't mean they're going to be completely healed. I'm talking about brokenness that leads to destruction. A brokenness that leads to destruction. That's what we're talking about. Right?
I had a miscarriage, and then I ended up finding out that he had another woman pregnant. I have a massive cyst sitting on my ovary.
Is it possible those could have contributed to miscarriages? Yes.
So that's her obviously now on Love and Hip Hop.
I had a miscarriage, and then I ended up
on Love and Hip Hop now. And she wanted to tell her truth to the world. Look, I'm gonna keep it short because we're you know, I don't want to do too long in here. You know, it's good to come to a realization of why you got to where you got to, because then you can begin to change it. If you know how you got there, you can begin to change that narrative. What's important also too is realizing the reason why you're with Nick Cannon in the first place. Okay, all right. And what she did was perfect. She didn't even just put all the accountability on Nick and say, "Oh, Nick is the one that's absolutely bad." She realized why she herself has to take some accountability and ownership over her position. And I need people out there to also realize that too. Don't just blame the opposite sex for bad things happening to you. You also got to take a account. Now, it's absolutely political, the fact that obviously after she had a miscarriage, that, you know, it wasn't long after he already had another kid on the way. But the reality of the situation is, right, she's learned. And she won't be in that position again, I believe, right? Judging on the way that she was able to describe what she had been through. So, look, Nick, we already told you already. Your behavior is not forthcoming for a loving relationship, or for even the children to grow up in, because you are making broken homes, and because you've broken the people who are actually in those homes already as well. So We'll talk a little bit more maybe another time about this subject. I think she brought some really important lessons. But make sure you like, share, subscribe, and you click on that bell button for notification uploads. We appreciate it, guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. We'll see you again soon. Much